Have you noticed on the book talks how like people, bookfluencers or whoever
Whatever,
they are,
yeah.
will be like, "Oh, these are my 12 favorite fantasy books."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Boop, boop, 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 boop."
And you can't even like,
I have no idea what they were. I
or
just saw
why they're your favorites.
why they're your favorites, what they're about.
It's too much for me.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Gay Book Club podcast. I'm Booker.
And I'm Reed.
And this episode, we're getting dark.
Hell yeah, we are.
Psychologically, thrillerly dark. I'm super excited about these books. First, we have Bathhouse by P.J. Vernon. And then we have These Violent Delights by Micah Nemerever.
Say that 3 times fast. No, we love you, Micah. Your book was awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about thrillers. Like, why do we like thrillers? Not just the plot mechanics, but the way they weaponize intimacy. The 2 books we're going to do a deep dive on today make the people closest to you the biggest threat. That's not just suspense. There's something very gay about that concept, I think. And these books doubled down on that.
Yeah, they do. All right, trigger warning right up top. P.J. Vernon's Bathhouse. There is violence, sexual abuse. There might be some more.
Emotional abuse, domestic violence, all of the violence.
All the violence.
Honestly, just
that's a good point.
all the
really
violence
in
is
there.
on both of these books, all of the trigger warnings.
Right up top.
Like, if you need to not read these, we get that. But
We totally get it. Just go to the next episode. It's fine.
go listen to the mystery one. Wait, maybe not, actually.
All right. So those of you who haven't read it, for Bathhouse, we have Oliver Park. He grew up in Indiana. He's a recovering addict, now has his shit together, and he is living in D.C. with his partner, Nathan. Nathan is 10 years older. He is a wealthy trauma surgeon. I would describe him as like very type A.
For sure.
Where he thrives on having his shit together.
Yeah.
That's his jam. Their life looks perfect on the outside. One night while Nathan's away at a doctor conference, Oliver visits a gay bathhouse called Haus. He hooks up with a stranger, and that stranger tries to kill him. The rest of the book is Oliver lying his way through the aftermath and the danger that just closes in on him.
So one thing about this book is I could not put it down. The pacing is relentless. From page 1, it is thing after thing after thing. And okay, I should mention, we're going to dive into spoilers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're into it now.
So press pause, go read it, speed read, 30 seconds, come back.
Come on.
You're welcome.
If you could read this book in 30 seconds, that would be pretty impressive. Okay, so the pacing on this book is relentless. It's such a page turner, like the definition of a page turner. I guess, did the pace exhaust you, exhilarate you? What did you think of the pacing on this one?
The pacing kind of immersed me more into the book.
Okay.
I mean, I felt like that's a lot of what it was about. I listened to it. I didn't read it like on paperback.
It was, yeah, I was going to say, I found the pacing to be just so much fun. It was one of those books where I didn't, but I was tempted to like skip to the end to see how it ended, just so I could like not be stressed out during the read.
To reduce the anxiety
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's that kind of book. You know, one of the things in this book is there's a definite power dynamic between Nathan, the doctor, Rich, has everything together, and Oliver, recovering addict, who is just trying to get his life back together. There's age gap, there's money gap, sobriety gap. Nathan is protective in ways that kind of curdle into control, I think. I guess I'm curious about the way that made you relate to these 2 characters. Like
as a sub, do I like a man that'll take control?
No, like, because he was a little bit controlling, before you get to kind of the reveal, did you like Nathan? Or was that just, because for me, it was kind of immediately off-putting. Because he wasn't just like, oh yeah, like I'm a doctor, you're not. But at the end of the day, my money's your money. Like, mi casa es su casa. Like, there's, like, in that relationship, from the get-go, I always had this, like, about Nathan that just sort of put me on edge.
You are a wiser man than me. Because I was like, oh, Nathan. I mean, honestly, because he gave him access to everything, but gave the facade that we are sharing everything. When actually we find out later that he's tracking every cent that Oliver is spending and everywhere he's going.
Yeah.
And so in the first, I was okay with him.
Really?
Yeah.
From the get-go, I was just like, this dude is sketchy. So that's kind of the big reveal, is that we find out that Nathan knew that Oliver was going to the bathhouse, and he hired someone to attack him. He didn't mean to have the person kill him, but he meant to have him scare him, hurt him, so that it would, potentially stop Oliver from going back and doing this again, right?
Yeah.
And so the person that he hired kind of goes off the rails and things spiral out of control. But we learn, well, before we dive into that, I'm curious, did you see the Nathan reveal coming? Like, it's at the end of the book, you find out like Nathan's behind all of this stuff. Did you see that coming, or were you blindsided?
I don't think I was totally blindsided, but I did think it was either Nathan's mom, because she is very open about how she doesn't like Oliver.
And also very controlling. Like, he comes by his craziness honestly. Like,
yeah,
he inherited it from his mom. She's absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she checks in with Nathan. Nathan checks in with Oliver. I thought it was either his mom or towards the very end, whenever Oliver's ex-boyfriend shows up out of nowhere, I thought, oh, that's definitely him.
Yeah.
So I was surprised. Were you?
I was surprised. There are some good red herrings in this book.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure it was the mom. I thought the ex-boyfriend was a red herring.
Okay.
Nathan was not. I knew he was sketchy. I didn't think he was behind it all as I read it. So it was a fun reveal. Like, I really liked that last chapter. Like, it nailed the ending for me.
Yes.
Because I love a mystery that I don't see coming, and when it ends, I'm like, oh, that was fun.
Yes. One thing that frustrates me a lot is whenever you have to set aside too much reality.
Yeah.
But this book, P.J. Vernon does such a good job of keeping it in current time. Everyone's got a cell phone. We don't have to pretend like, oh, maybe they don't have access to a computer. Like, no, all of that is very relevant, and it comes into play, and those become significant
factors in the mystery and how the plot unfolds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about, because I think with both the books that we're going to talk about today, none of the protagonists that we're going to talk about today are good people. I mean, well, Oliver's not bad. I shouldn't say good people. But Oliver is a liar. He lied, and he he was going to cheat on his boyfriend at a bathhouse. Now, his boyfriend is a maniacal psychopath, but he didn't know that. And I'm not saying he should have stayed with the controlling boyfriend. I'm just saying, like, that wasn't necessarily the best move. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the best move. Did that make him harder for you to root for?
No.
Well, that was easy. All right, moving on.
And I think it's, again, attributed to the writing, where it was like, for me, a lot of times in a mystery book, when this happens, while I didn't agree with Oliver's decisions, I was like, okay, I kind of see where you're coming from. Like, I get you're trying to minimize damage. You're trying to keep it. You learned your lesson. You're not going to do it again. But he's a big liar.
He's a big liar. And just to be clear, in no way am I saying, like, if you lie, you deserve to be killed, or if you cheat, you deserve to be killed.
No, I'm kidding.
Like, that's not at all what I'm saying. It's just interesting to be a morally ambiguous protagonist that's going through, like, the worst experience imaginable. And what's also interesting to me about this book is that the author gives us Nathan's perspective too. You're in the brain of this psychopath that you, at the end of the book, learn is behind everything.
Yeah.
And I was, when you're in his brain, it doesn't make you necessarily sympathetic toward him, but it offers a different perspective in some ways. Like, you see almost where he's coming from.
A lot of things are a little more rational.
Yeah.
Where instead of it's like, you dumb it, you're like, okay, all right, from your perspective, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. But also, we find out in the book that he and the person he hired to scare Oliver, they are kind of into, like, snuff films, or maybe snuff films. Like, I don't think the author ever makes it super clear if they're actual snuff films or fake snuff films, but he's into some super sketchy shit. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Like it's like beyond rough sex. Like it's something else.
Yeah.
My last thought about this book that I wanted to talk about is I think that there's this fun angle. And the reason why this book works better as a gay thriller than a straight thriller is that there's a specific kind of gay tension here. The fear of being outed, right? The fear of your secrets being used against you. Like, and I think that elevates the thrillerness and the excitement of the book. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if, well, I don't even know if straight people read. Would a straight person read this? Are you straight? Is there any straight people out there that have read this book?
You're right. Like, I don't know if a straighty would. Sorry.
No. That's, I think, did you find any parallels there? Or not necessarily parallels, but that as a gay reader, did you find that kind of elevated the mystery or the tension for you?
Yeah. You have to be a good liar to survive middle school, high school, especially like in a rural conservative area. And so like you get really good at that. And then you kind of get good at manipulating the truth, dealing with it, moving on. And so I hate to say it, but I think that's why for me, Oliver, even though he is a liar, one right after another, it's kind of like, well, there was a time in my life where I had to do that. And like, it's for survival. He's right. Also kind of doing it for survival. I think that resonated a lot.
That's a really good point. Like, I mean, that's classic. I can picture, like, I lived with my brother during college when I started hooking up with dudes. Like, where are you going? I'm going to I grew up Mormon. I'm going to a friend's Mormon mission homecoming. I'd dress up with the white shirt and tie, pretend I was going to a church meeting, and go meet up with the dude, get blown in the back of a truck. So, I mean, I guess to be low, those are, I mean, it's a harmless lie, but I see the parallels, right?
Yes.
So it's an interesting book. Honestly, this book gets an A for me. It's fascinating. It's fast paced. If you like thrillers, mysteries, check this one out for sure. It's dark. It's violent. So those trigger warnings, but
super fast paced. You'll be on your toes the whole time. It is one you can actually, I think you could easily sit down, give yourself like 8-12 hours, and you could the whole thing.
Yeah. Grab a cup of coffee, go sit on a beach chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of those books. All right. Should we dive into the next one?
Let's do it. Okay. Next up, we have Micah Nemerever's These Violent Delights. And I'm going to apologize right up top because I love this book. And I could talk about it for days. It's a book that I feel like every time you go back to it, you can peel back a layer and there's a new psychological element that you can dissect. And Micah, you are brilliant for putting this together and doing this. And all right, let's do this.
So the writing in this book is spectacular. Like the prose itself is phenomenal. The dialogue is natural. The characters are very well developed. It's just a gorgeous book, which is kind of in juxtaposition with the topic. So the plot of this book is essentially two highly intelligent teenagers get together. They're gay, queer, I don't know.
It's Pittsburgh, 1970s.
Yeah.
We've got Paul, who his father has recently died. He is introverted and insecure. He is artistic, gay, and he is middle class background. And he meets Julian in a freshman ethics class. Both Julian and Paul, who later we know as Pablo, went to college early because they are very smart. They are very book smart. He meets Julian in this ethics class freshman year. They're both 16, 17, I think.
Yeah, I think like 17.
Yeah. Julian is a wealthy, extroverted, and cruel. So this is where our good friend Austin would describe it as a relationship where their baggage fits. Which is like your toxic relationship times 12. All right, so they become inseparable, and their friendship becomes obsessive, then romantic, then destructive. The book is inspired by the actual Leopold-and-Loeb case, as well as the Parker Hume murder case, 1954, New Zealand. Woo, we'll get into that in a second. And it builds toward an act of violence that feels both inevitable and devastating.
What's interesting to me about this book is that it's not a typical toxic relationship in the sense where one person is sucked into the orbit of the other and there's a clear villain. They're both equally or very nearly equally toxic in their own way. Different ways, but in their own way.
Yeah.
So the plot is essentially these two guys get together. They've clearly got some violent tendencies, these violent delights. That manifests itself through things like extremely rough sex and fantasizing about killing people. And they decide to act on it and essentially commit what they thought would be the perfect murder. Yeah. Turns out they're dumbass 18-year-old kids or whatever it is when they actually and of course it's not the perfect murder. They're idiots because they're teenagers, duh. And then things kind of unravel from there. The first question I want to ask is about the slow burn versus Bathhouse's sprint. These are similar in some ways and completely polar opposites in others.
Yes.
Did you find yourself more sucked into one or the other, or just in different ways?
Both and yes. So for Bathhouse, I felt like it's definitely more thriller vibe. Yeah. And man, every page was like a new drama that was happening.
A new problem, yeah.
Yes. What I loved about these violent delights was on a deep psychological level, I felt like I was pulled into each character more and more. And it was that slow, deep burn where I literally just kept falling more and more in with them and their madness.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Neither one of these people are good people. They are both awful in their own ways. Now, in some ways, they're kind of sympathetic, right? Like his dad dies, you feel bad for him. But did you find yourself identifying with them? Or was it just watching a train wreck? Did you root for them? Or were you yeah, you should get caught?
All of the above. Okay, so to be fair, I did root for them in the beginning, and because I felt for them a lot. They're two such unique individuals that they don't really have friends.
Yeah.
So when they find each other, they're so attracted to each other, and they accept each other's really weird quirks. And for two individuals who are often ostracized, not just because they're gay, because they're quirky, they're hyper smart, and so they're in so many ways pushed to the fringe of society that on their outer orbit they finally came across each other and they found a buddy.
I think one thing that's important to think about is we're talking about the 1970s here. Mm-hmm. Finding another gay man.
Huge.
That's, yeah, especially at that age. There's something to be said, I think, in the sense of, I think that the setting is really important. And the closet, the alienation, the sense that the world has no place for what they are. Yeah. Their violence then turns outward. And I'm not justifying their violence, but I think that the author might have had something to say about that. I think that might have been not a justification for the violence, but kind of maybe a driving factor behind it.
100%.
The two main characters, the two protagonists, decide to murder someone that they think deserves to die. It's a little Dexter-esque in that sense. They're not just murdering a rando. Although whether or not this person deserves to die, I think maybe is a little up for interpretation.
Which, again, I feel like where Micah nailed it. It wasn't a rapist.
Or a murderer.
That got out early. No, it's someone that is in a gray area.
Yeah, very much a gray area. This book is dark. I mean, it is super, super dark. Really pulls you into the darkness. And I think you especially love the dark trauma. That is definitely my go-to is murder mysteries, especially lighthearted, cozy murder mysteries. Although it's still someone dies in those. But I'm curious, what draws you to these books? Catharsis, recognition, the safety of seeing someone else spiral? Like, what is it about tragedy and trauma that feels more honest to you or more attractive than a happy ending?
I don't like a horror story or a horror movie, but if you throw in the psychological element, ooh, that's my jam. And I've always been fascinated with psychology. If I had it all to do over again, I would get a degree in psychology. I think there's a couple of reasons why I'm so fascinated and drawn to it. And one of them is like with these two characters who are based off of real life events and characters, when you have a chance to kind of understand the bad guy, the villain, the murderer, you are able to break that down so they're not as scary. So it's sort of a way to dissect and process the scary demons.
Okay.
There's a why, and we can figure out the why. And that makes me feel better. And I didn't kill anyone today.
Right? So you're a better person. We're better than all. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so that's a good segue, I think, into the real life inspiration behind these books. So the book took inspiration from the Leopold-and-Loeb case. So quick history lesson for anyone who needs it. I needed it. I had to Google this. In 1924, Chicago, Nathan Leopold and Richard Loeb, they were two wealthy, brilliant college students, barely 20 years old. They kidnapped and murdered a 14-year-old boy named Bobby Franks. Not for money, not out of anger. They wanted to commit the perfect crime. They thought that they were smart enough to get away with it. They weren't. They were caught almost immediately. The relationship between them, I think, is what Micah draws, the author draws on, and really kind of doubles down on to make this book work, is that it's toxic relationship that they spiral together, and the toxicity between them like multiplies over and over and over. And I think that that's sort of this shared delusion that we see in real life in that case and in this book.
Yeah. Another one was the 1954 Parker Hume murder case. That was two girl teenagers. And that blew my mind even more because I feel like with violence and acts like this, you think like, oh, boys.
Yeah.
Nope. Leave it to the women. Girls in this case. All right. So you have the Parker Hume case where you have Parker, who was very similar to Pablo, introverted, middle-class working background, also hyper smart. And then you have Juliet, who came from a wealthy background. Dad did very well, also very smart. Much like Pablo and Julian, they found each other and just magnets. Wah. They fell in love / obsession with each other. And there came a point where they were going to be separated because Juliet's parents were moving on to South Africa, and Parker's single mom was going to stay there, and she wasn't going to let her go with Juliet. So because they are afraid they'll be separated by Parker's mom, they decide to kill Parker's mom. They do it one afternoon on a hike with a sock and a brick, and they bludgeon her to death. And then the two are taken to court. They are sentenced to 5 years. Parker, who was more the reserved one, she lives the rest of her life as a recluse. Juliet goes on to be a crime writer, novelist.
Actually, of course she does.
So, again, with this book, I was so fascinated. It was like, whoa, this is so wild. Based on true stories.
Yeah. I think if I had a little bit of a critique, and I really enjoyed this book, if I had a little bit of a critique, it would be I don't know if the jump to murder was totally, it felt a little abrupt to me.
Okay.
I struggled just a little bit where they went from pretending to plan the perfect murder to, yeah, let's kill that dude. And it was almost like I wanted the dude they killed to be just a morally reprehensible monster.
A little more bad.
And I'm sure that Micah would love to chat, but I'm sure that there's a reason behind that, and I'm too dumb to know what that reason is. But I wanted him to be a serial killer that they then took out, or someone who was
a rapist
or a child molester or something, and they like made the world better, and then I would identify with them a little bit more. But this guy was just like kind of anti-war. I don't know. It was just a pro-war, and like did some stuff in the military. And I'm not justifying that, but like they didn't even know for sure what he did. Like
like his crime was sort of going along with what his superior said during a war, and so he, I think, tortured a few individuals. But even that, like,
but we don't even know for sure that he did that.
You're right.
Like, it was so gray that I want, and I'm sure there's a reason, but like I wanted it to be a little bit more cut and dry that this dude is awful and evil, and then maybe I would have been a little bit more on board. But I mean, if they're inspired by those two cases, neither one of those victims was awful and evil. Like, one was a 14-year-old boy, and the other one was a mom just saying, no, I'm not going to move to South Africa. Like, like, neither one of those. So maybe that's it. Is that like there really are people out there that are just inherently kind of evil. Like,
and I think they get pushed to it where they're so ostracized and pushed on the fringe of society that for them, that is a logical way of thinking. But I think one of the things too I like about these dark psychological thrillers is oftentimes they have a very low emotional IQ. And I feel like mine is off the charts.
I would agree.
Regular IQ, whatever.
Well, no,
but
that
emotional,
too.
woo, that's my jam.
Yeah.
And so, like, even in this story, spoilers, long time ago.
Yeah. We're past spoilers.
In every case, they get caught within 24 hours because they're so dumb about the evidence they leave behind.
Yeah.
Like with Juliet and Pablo leaves his fucking custom glasses at the scene. They don't need DNA. They just need to pick these up, go to the store. All right, what are the 3 people in Chicago that...
Again, they're dumb teenagers.
That's another thing.
They think they're so smart. And in some ways they are intelligent, but they're dumbass teenagers.
And that was another unifying element to all these cases in the book was like they are teenagers, male or female. They are teenagers.
Dumbasses, yeah.
Prefrontal
cortex.
Thank you. Not there. And like, you dumbasses.
I really like this book. One thing that's kind of fun is like, you know what's going to happen in the book, like kind of from the beginning. Literally, it opens on the murder.
You're right. But did you hope that like something would intervene or think that something would intervene?
No, I never thought that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, sorry, that sounded really dismissive.
That's okay. Keep going. It's fine.
I did not mean that to sound dismissive.
Where's your imagination?
I just...
my toxic positivity was coming in, and I was like, okay, but maybe there's gonna like on the way to the murder, there's gonna be like a fender bender or a flat tire, and like they can't do it, and blah.
I guess I didn't go there. The book opens on the murder scene, and I just sort of, when I read it, it was like, this is going to be a journey, not of like who kills who, or like, it's going to be why and how. Like, how do we get to this point, like, of a murder? And like,
well, you're right, Reed.
And it's a fun, like, not a fun journey. That is not this book is not fun. It was an interesting journey.
Yes.
To see like the psychological, you're just along for the ride. Like, you know, the final destination. You're just kind of seeing why and how we get there.
Yeah.
So I really like this book. If you like dark thrillers or if you like dark academia, like if you liked Secret History or If We Were Villains.
Yes. But you want something better than those two? Like, you're ready to take it up a notch?
And darker, I think. Like, honestly.
Darker.
Because even those books had almost likable protagonists, and this book, they're really not. I mean,
I kind of like it.
I think you need to talk to your therapist about that. Maybe not likable, but like, I don't know. They're both awful people. If you like this book, other kind of thrillers that you might enjoy, that you could check out would be Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. Two ex-con fathers, one black, one white, neither particularly comfortable having gay sons, team up to avenge the murder of their sons who were married. It's brutal, propulsive, and it's more emotionally complex than you might expect. Great book. Check that one out. Yes, Daddy by Jonathan Parks Ramage. An aspiring writer takes up with a wealthy older playwright and gets pulled into his Hamptons nightmare. It's modern queer gothic that goes to genuinely dark places. Content warnings for days on that one. The Murder Between Us by Tal Bauer. An FBI agent has a one-night Vegas hookup with a different FBI profiler. They end up having to work together. That one's a little bit lighter, but still in that thriller vein. The Madison Square Murders by C.S. Poe. Neurodivergent cold case detective with perfect memory gets paired with a charming forensic artist after a storm unearths a skeleton and a Victorian death mask in Madison Square Park. It's a gay procedural, but it's done right. It's an interesting book. Hitman's Guide to Making Friends and Finding Love. Alice Winters, a hitman and a private investigator end up falling for one another. It's absurd, but also kind of fun. Body count is astronomical. And finally, Deadly Mistakes, also by Alice Winters. A homicide detective who's secretly a serial killer falls for his partner. He's kind of a Dexter-esque. It's like gay Dexter, essentially. A Dexter. So there's some other books that you might be interested in if this is kind of your genre. But overall, I give Violent Delights an A. Really liked this book. Check it out.
I give both an A. I think I give Violent Delights A+.
Okay.
But yes, go check both of them out. They're phenomenal.
Yep. Great books.
And obsessively text your friends about the Gay Book Club podcast, because that's us, book or read, and we have all your gay reads. Hot takes on your gay reads.
Hot takes on your gay reads. Check us out.